Hello, my name is Shelby Dahlem, and today we will be discussing the visual principles in educational video design. So why use visuals in education? Visuals are impactful in education because visuals influence our brain in a way that text or verbal information alone cannot. Learners respond to visual information faster as compared to text-only materials. Also, visuals help improve learning tremendously and on multiple levels. The 6 reasons visuals are powerful in e-learning. Number 1, they help store information longer. Number 2, they make communication quicker and simpler. Number 3, they aid better comprehension. Number 4, they act as stimulators for emotions. Number 5, they drive motivation. And also, whenever you're teaching a lesson, it is important to understand the difference between suitable and unsuitable visuals. Therefore, number 6, unsuitable visuals equal unhappy learners. Our brain processes visuals 60,000 times faster than text. 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual. About 70% of your sensory receptors are in your eyes. And about 50% of your brain is active in visual processing, and about 80% of people remember what they see. Using visuals for ESL lessons. So let's say you are a teacher for English language learners. Visuals should be used for every topic in every lesson. And if a student is struggling with understanding a word or subject, it is best to stop the lesson and discuss the topic together. Using a picture dictionary can help aid the students so they compare a visual with a word. And when using a picture dictionary, playing a game of I Spy can help give students clues to pairing words with visuals. So let's look at the key principles of multimedia learning. And these are based on Richard Mayer's research on the theory of multimedia learning. As you can see, we have the 10 principles here. That includes multimedia, modality, redundancy, signaling, coherence, contiguity, and that is split into 2 principles, spatial contiguity and temporal contiguity, segmenting, image, voice, and personalization. Multimedia principle. This principle presents the idea that humans learn best with a variety of visuals. This can include combining pictures, photos, animations, videos, text, and verbal information when teaching a lesson. Modality principle. When giving a presentation, you should be sure to use visuals that reinforce your words while also limiting the amount of text on screen. Redundancy principle. This principle implies an audience will retain information better with narration and graphics alone together. Including text next to a graphic of what is already being spoken will indeed be redundant. Signaling principle. This principle means pointing to certain information, such as using arrows to point to a diagram or highlighting a part of a photo that will be important for a learner to remember later. Coherence principle. This principle suggests removing any material that is irrelevant to what is being taught. And now we move on to the contiguity principles. There are 2 principles that apply to contiguity, and these are the spatial contiguity principle and temporal contiguity principles. Spatial contiguity. This contiguity principle means to maintain space between text and visuals. During a presentation, it is best to keep related text and visuals closer together and unrelated materials farther apart from one another. Temporal contiguity. This contiguity principle means keeping audio narrative in sync with the images being shown. Segmenting principle. Information should be presented in segments, sections, or chunks instead of altogether under one point. Students learn better when information is segmented, therefore performing better during assessments that are divided up in time. Image principle. This principle implies if there's important information to be shared, then relevant visuals on the screen will be more effective than just the talking head of the educator. Voice principle. When giving a presentation, it is better for learners to hear a human voice instead of a robotic voice, making learning more authentic for students. And finally, personalization principle. In the instance you are presenting information to learners, you should use a more casual voice that they can follow along with simply, without using an excessive amount of overly complicated language. Thank you.